Okay, so I tried something kind of weird for 7 minutes every morning for 3 weeks. And I genuinely don't know how to explain what happened to my brain. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some of the smartest, most productive people on the planet guard the first 7 minutes of their morning like their life depends on it.
All right, real talk for a second. Most of us wake up and what's the first thing we do? Phone, Instagram, maybe the news, coffee while scrolling emails. And then we wonder why by 10 a.m. we feel scattered, reactive, and like our brain is running at 40%. Here's the thing though, and this is actually wild when you learn it. The first 7 to 15 minutes after you wake up, that's not random. That is one of the most neurologically loaded windows of your entire day. Your brain is doing something really specific in that window, and most of us are completely torching it without even knowing. So what is the brain doing? And what would happen if instead of handing it to a phone, you actually worked with it? I'll tell you exactly what's happening in your brain in a second. But first I need to explain why kids are basically neurological superheroes and adults are not. Yeah, stick with me.
Okay, so brainwaves. Don't zone out. I promise this is not a biology lecture. Your brain runs at different frequencies depending on what you're doing. Beta waves, that's your busy, stressed, scrolling through emails mode. Alpha is calm focus. Delta is deep sleep. And then there's theta, 4 to 8 hertz. This is the weird one. Theta is the state between being awake and asleep. It's the frequency your brain hits when you're in a hot shower and suddenly get a brilliant idea. It's what happens right before you fall asleep, when your mind starts doing that floaty, semi-dreamy thing. Neuroscientists call it the gateway to the subconscious. And here's the kicker. Research shows theta brainwave activity is directly tied to creativity, memory, problem solving, and learning. Like measurably. NIH published research measurably. And guess what state your brain is naturally in for a few minutes every single morning? Yep. Theta. Right when you wake up, before the cortisol and the notifications and the to-do list kick in, your brain is sitting in this incredible, fertile, almost magical state. And then most of us immediately nuke it. Okay, remember I said kids are neurological superhumans? Here's what I meant. Children under 13 spend a disproportionate amount of time in theta brainwave states. It's literally why kids learn languages, instruments, and entire video game universes at a rate that makes adults feel like they have a broken processor. Their brains are in download mode almost constantly. Ours used to be. And then, adulting happened. Stress, schedules, screen time, all of it pushes our brains up into higher frequency beta states, which are great for survival. Not so great for creativity, learning, or feeling like a genius. But here's the thing, and this is the whole point of this video. You can get back to theta, on purpose, in minutes. And the research on how to do it is actually pretty fascinating. So scientists figured something out that sounds almost too simple to be real. The brain has this property called entrainment. Basically, when it's exposed to a rhythmic external stimulus, a sound, a pulse, a beat, it will literally start to synchronize its own electrical activity to match that rhythm. It's called frequency following response. And it's not fringe science. This has been studied in peer-reviewed journals, NIH publications, neuroscience labs. Think about it like this. You ever notice how when someone near you starts yawning, you yawn? Or how a really good song can shift your whole mood in like 30 seconds? That's your brain being influenced by external rhythm. Entrainment is a more precise, engineered version of that. Researchers figured out that if you play specific audio frequencies, particularly what are called binaural beats and isochronic tones, your brain will chase that frequency down into theta. Which brings me to the 7-minute thing, and why that specific number matters more than you might think. Okay, the 7 minutes. Here's why that number keeps coming up in the research on brainwave entrainment. It's roughly the minimum time your brain needs to meaningfully shift from beta into a theta-dominant state using sound-based entrainment. Less than that, and you're kind of just dipping a toe in. But 7 minutes? Studies have shown that's enough to genuinely move the needle on your brainwave activity. And the reason to do it in the morning specifically? Remember that natural theta window we talked about when you first wake up? You're basically giving your brain a running head start. Instead of fighting uphill from stressed beta, You're starting from a place that's already halfway there. It's like, imagine trying to light a campfire. You can either start with a single match and wet wood, or you can start with dry kindling that's already warm. Same match. Completely different result. The morning theta window is your warm, dry kindling. All right, so let's talk about what you actually feel and notice when you start doing this consistently. Because I think this is where it gets interesting. When your brain spends more time in theta, whether through meditation or entrainment or other practices, the reported benefits kind of cluster into a few buckets. First one, mental clarity, like the mental fog just lifts. People describe it as going from a fuzzy TV signal to HD. Thoughts come faster, they connect better. Second, creativity. There's a 2019 study published in Neuroimage where participants in theta-dominant states showed 23% higher performance on creative problem-solving tasks compared to people in beta. 23%. Third, and this one surprised me, stress response. Theta is strongly associated with the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and recover system. So when your brain goes theta, your nervous system basically gets a memo that says, hey, we're safe, you can relax now. Cortisol drops. Tension in your body physically decreases. And then there's memory. NIH research has shown that theta activity literally precedes successful memory recall. Like your brain spikes in theta right before you remember something correctly. So you've got clarity, creativity, stress relief, and memory, all from training your brain to spend more time in a state it naturally wants to be in anyway. That's not nothing. Now, when I first started going down this rabbit hole, I was doing the thing a lot of people do, trying to meditate in the morning and honestly being kind of terrible at it. Like, I'd sit down, close my eyes, and spend 20 minutes basically writing grocery lists in my head while pretending to be enlightened. Very relaxing, very not working. And then someone pointed me to this audio program called the Genius Wave. And I was skeptical. I'll be honest, the name sounds like something you'd see advertised between get-rich-quick schemes. But it's actually built on exactly the science we've been talking about. It's a 7-minute brainwave entrainment audio, binaural beats and isochronic tones, developed by a neuroscientist named Dr. James Rivers, who spent over 34 years specifically researching this stuff. The whole idea is just, you put headphones on, you press play, and it does the frequency work for you. No meditation experience needed. No sitting perfectly still trying not to think about pizza. I've been using it as part of my morning routine, and honestly, I'm not going to oversell it because I hate when people do that, but it's become one of those things I notice when I skip it. If you're curious and want to try it out, I dropped the link in the pinned comment. Worth a look, especially if you've been interested in this theta stuff and want an easy on-ramp. Anyway, back to the routine, because the audio is actually just one piece of a really effective morning reset. So here's what I've landed on as a solid 7-minute morning brainwave reset that you can actually do. And look, these are all grounded in the same science. You can do all of it, some of it, or just the one that resonates. Minute 1. Don't touch your phone. Seriously, the first 60 seconds after you wake up, your brain is in that natural theta window. The moment you pick up your phone, your amygdala fires, your stress response activates, and you're in beta. Gone. Let that minute be yours. Minutes 2 to 3, slow breathing. There's a pattern called 4-7-8. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Research shows controlled breathing like this can reduce beta wave activity and increase theta activity. It's a manual override for your nervous system. Minutes 4 to 7, brainwave audio, intention, or stillness. This is where you use entrainment audio, or if you don't have that, just sit quietly with your eyes closed and let your mind do that slow, drifting morning thing without interrupting it. No forcing, no agenda. Just let the theta happen. Some people add a short journaling prompt here. One question like, what would make today feel complete? That theta state makes your answers more creative and intuitive than if you asked yourself the same thing mid-afternoon while you're stressed. Bonus, if you can swing it, natural light. Getting sunlight on your face within the first few minutes of waking up sets your circadian rhythm, which affects your cortisol and melatonin cycles for the entire day. That's free brain optimization. Here's the thing I keep coming back to with all of this. We spend a lot of time trying to optimize our productivity during the day. Better apps, better to-do lists, better time blocking. And those things aren't bad. But we almost never think about preparing the brain itself before all of that starts. It's kind of like trying to run a marathon without warming up. You can do it, but you're leaving so much on the table. Your brain is not a fixed thing. Neuroscientists have been pretty clear on this for decades. It's neuroplastic. It changes based on what you repeatedly do and expose it to, which means the habits you build in the morning aren't just habits. They're literally shaping the physical structure and functional patterns of your brain over time. 7 minutes. That's the ask. And the research says that window, used well, can influence your focus, your creativity, your stress levels, and your memory for the entire rest of the day. That feels like a pretty good trade.
All right, that's the full breakdown. The theta state, why the morning window matters, the 7-minute framework, all of it. If you found this useful, subscribe. I dig into this kind of brain science and performance stuff regularly, and I think you'd enjoy hanging around. And if you want to try the brainwave entrainment side of things, the Genius Wave link is pinned in the comments. No pressure at all. Just wanted to put it there if it's useful. Drop a comment and tell me, do you have a morning routine right now, or are you a phone first thing person? No judgment. I was firmly in that camp for years. All right, go do something great. Talk soon.